Hey, what's going on, traders? Thanks for checking out this video. My name is Travis from Master the Market, and in this video I wanted to talk a little bit about the ISPO stock, which we saw spike up today and close the day up at 648%. And this is going to be a great thing for the small cap market because over the past few months to start off the year 2022, the small cap market has been very slow. We have not seen very many big runners. We've seen, maybe a few 20, 30, 40% runners. But it's been a while since we've had any massive spikes over 100%, let alone over 500%. So seeing that today in ISPO is going to be a great thing for the small cap market because it's going to kind of get the ball rolling. And now people are going to be more willing to chase these stocks once they're already spiking, which is going to lead to more stocks having bigger runs in a shorter period of time. So with ISPO today, we saw it spike up from about $10 per share all the way up to a high intraday of $108 per share before pulling back a little bit and closing the day at $92.65. Now this massive spike up had no news or catalyst, and I see a lot of people talking about the stock not having any news and being up way too much for the fact that there is no news. So because of that, they were short biased and they were expecting the stock to come crashing back down. And the simple fact is that if a stock is going to squeeze and if a stock has some very strong upward momentum, then it doesn't necessarily need to have some kind of news or press release to go along with that move, because that breakout and that momentum to the upside is going to be as good of a catalyst as anything else to drive the price of the stock higher. Because at the end of the day, what the market runs on is supply and demand. And clearly today with ISPO, there was no lack of demand since we did see this massive spike up. So anyway, like I said, this is going to be a really good thing for the small cap market. And if we take a look at a few examples here, we could see that ISPO already started to kind of heat things up in the small cap market because following that spike up, we saw several other stocks that also started to spike up. And one of those being ANGH, which ended up closing the day up 161%. It spiked from about $10 per share as well, all the way up to an intraday high of about $33. And then it actually hit about $35 in after hours trading. So again, another massive spike up. No news, no catalyst to drive that stock higher. Just again, based on technicals and based on the momentum and the demand for the stock. Another example would be CPTN. This is going to be a kind of a weird example because as you can see, there's a bunch of these little gaps along the way in this stock. And what those gaps represent is a volatility halt that was put into place by the SEC. So when a stock spikes up or comes dropping down too quickly, what the SEC can do is actually halt trading of that stock, usually anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes before it resumes trading. And during that time frame, you're not able to place any trades to either buy or sell the stock. So personally, this is a stock that I would avoid. It's really difficult to trade these stocks that have these very frequent volatility halts. And if you're not careful, what can happen is you may end up buying all the way up here before this big halt happens. And this closes this candlestick at about $65. Then again, there is another volatility halt, and it ends up opening down in the low 40s once that volatility halt is over. So again, this is not one that I personally would be trading, but it is another example of how ISPO kind of started to get the ball rolling today in the small cap market. Okay, so last but not least, one other quick example is going to be QNGY. This is actually one that we kind of nailed today in the Market Master group. We caught this moving up on the breakout scanner in the 390 area once we saw this big spike up in volume here, before it had this run up to a high of $5.40. So there was a few pretty good opportunities there, both long and short, to make some profits. And if you want to check out the Market Master group to get these trade alerts and to be a part of the chat and watch our live streams every single day with custom scanners, make sure to check out the link in the description to try it out for 100% free. But anyway, the reason that I bring this up with QNGY and the other couple of examples is because all of these big runners today have a few things in common. First, all of them are recent IPOs. All of them IPO'd within the past couple of weeks. And second, all of them are going to be what are considered low floats. If a stock has a low float, the float is simply going to represent the supply for that stock. So if there's a low supply of the stock, that can create a large amount of volatility, which often leads to some big spikes like we saw with ISPO, with ANGH, with CPTN, and with QNGY. Okay, so with all of that being said, you may be wondering now, what is going to be the next big runner? So in order to kind of figure that out, we're going to go over to Finviz And what I want to do is look for stocks that meet the same criteria that all of those stocks also had when they were spiking up today. So first and foremost, we're going to look at the IPO date, and we're going to look at in the past month. And the second thing is that they have a small float. So we're going to go ahead and keep this anywhere under 20 million shares. And that narrows the market down to a total of just 5 stocks. We have FGI, we have MTEK, we have NVCT, SQFTW, and TKLF. So first and foremost, let's click on FGI. We can see that FGI IPO'd a few weeks ago, and we can also see that the number of shares in its float is about 2.5 million shares, which is considered a very low float. So again, that just means that this stock can really spike very quickly once the volume starts to spike up as well. And actually, if we take a look at this chart here in Thinkorswim, we see that today there was a bit of a spike up. The volume did start to pick up during the middle of the day, and it actually closed up near the highs for the day. Along with that, we can also see down here on the daily chart, there's been a little bit of a consolidation period here above the support that looks to be at about 315. So if we pair that with the fact that this is also, again, a low float stock, and it's also a recent IPO, I think that FGI is going to be a really good candidate for a big spike up in the near future to kind of follow in the footsteps of ISPO. However, if you want to kind of check out these other ones and see if any of these other ones may be a good fit, you can feel free to do so. You can also be a little bit more lenient with your criteria. So instead of a 20 million share float, you can do under 50 million to kind of give you a few more examples. But I just wanted to do this quick video to kind of give you an idea of why ISPO spiked and how you can find the next stock that is going to potentially have a spike up, just like ISPO, based solely on the fact that the stock has a lot of similarities to ISPO itself. And these are called sympathy plays in the market, and we see these happen time and time again every time that there is a big runner in the penny stock market. Alright, so hopefully you found some value in this video. If you want to learn more about day trading, swing trading, and long-term investing, or if you want to come try out our Market Master group for free, those are going to be on my website, Master the Market, which will be linked down below in the description. But anyway, thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and good luck with your trading.